Alton Towers Project Horizon will not be an RMC. Here's why. If you've been living under a rock, recently Alton Towers posted a Q&A session with John Burton, the creative lead at Merlin, where he proceeded to say the following.
When will we see an RMC design at a park? Can we cut the camera? We can't be talking about anything potentially on the horizon.
Did he just confirm an RMC at Alton Towers? No. No, he didn't. First off, I'm going to be very blunt. This is a classic example of Alton Towers marketing, getting everyone hyped and everything excited over something that will probably not be coming to the resort, and if so, not anytime soon. Obviously, the marketing team at Alton Towers wanted enthusiasts to be talking about Alton Towers and their future development, so they created this video, and a very, very well done to the team at the marketing department and John Burton for getting everyone excited. And of course, talking about the park, which is their main objective. I tell you what, you cannot beat that marketing team at Alton Towers. Very hard to compete with them in the UK theme park industry. Okay. Let's talk about why Project Horizon will not be an RMC. Obviously, Project Horizon could be an RMC, but in my humble personal opinion, I don't think it will be. First of all, just by looking at the Wild Mouse RMC layout, it's very compact and there's loads of steel everywhere. Putting this inside a big warehouse that will require lots of theming, lots of visuals, lots of animatronics. Where will all of this theming go? Because when you look at the structure, it's all very compact, very tight together. The theming is going to have to go on the actual structure. Like, there's no space for theming at all. Whereas with, for example, an Intamin multi-dimensional coaster, it's just going to be a normal track layout, a normal roller coaster in the dark, like Walking Dead. So there's loads of space to put theming. Like, look at this image here, this sort of aerial look at it. It's just steel and supports everywhere. Where in the world will Alton Towers put any sort of theme in there? The track itself goes over the station like 3 times. What's also worth mentioning as well, that this is a completely new concept by RMC. Like, this has never been built before, and it will debut at Alton Towers. And considering this is new, something innovative, then they would have to plan quite far ahead for this to go in. And it feels like Project Horizon hasn't been in the works for too long. But if we go over to America, they're getting the brand new Fire in the Hole, one of RMC's first, well, the first RMC family roller coaster. That's going to cost 30 million, and Project Horizon is rumored to cost 12 million. So it doesn't add up. It would have to be a cheap of the cheap of the cheap version. Considering this is a new concept by RMC and it's predicted that the whole Project Horizon as a whole will cost 12 million, no. Absolutely not. You've also got to think of the logistics as well. This will be the UK's first RMC, yes. I know, we're lagging behind as always. But yeah, this will be the UK's first RMC. And is it that impressive, really? Yes, it looks quite cool. Yes, it will be the first in the world, and we know Alton Towers like their marketing points. The first wild moose coaster, but is it that impressive? Really? It's the transformation of a wild mouse. Obviously, no one's ever ridden it before, so we can't really make the judgment. But for a UK's first RMC, I think this will be pretty disappointing, considering there's rides out there from RMC like Steel Vengeance, Iron Gwazi, the one that I've been on, and it was absolutely great. This would feel like a pretty big downgrade. If Merlin were to do an RMC, I think they would do it much bigger for the first one anyway. Before, no one was talking about Project Horizon, but now literally everyone's talking about it. It's the hot topic in the theme park community. Which is exactly what Alton Towers wanted, everyone talking about their park. But I just think it's very strange to market a ride or talk about or basically make links to an attraction that's not going to be opening until 2025. Yes, that's a year away. It just feels weird. Why would Alton Towers start marketing a ride? Like, there is such a thing as marketing a ride too early, because then the hype for it just slowly dies as time goes on. Of course, RMC are now moving into the family market, as seen by Silver Dollar City, which will be getting a new RMC family coaster, Fire in the Hole, which does look very good. Obviously, it'd be great to see an RMC coaster in the UK, but I just think a family one to kickstart RMC in the UK just wouldn't be great. Of course, everyone's thinking about RMC and Project Horizon, but John Burton could have been teasing about a later project at Alton Towers. Of course, they don't just think about one roller coaster. Obviously, Alton Towers are thinking about what's happening after Project Horizon, and could they potentially be thinking about getting a deal with RMC, or potentially have a deal with RMC to do a roller coaster at not just Alton Towers, but the further Merlin parks in the future. We don't just have to think about Project Horizon in this. There's always been talks about Alton Towers having a Cross Valley roller coaster. Could that come to fruition with RMC in the future? We have to look further than just Project Horizon. I've been reading loads of comments, seeing what other people think. Some people say that the Wild Moose coaster is too small for the Project Horizon building, which could be the case. The contract between Alton Towers and the Project Horizon manufacturer for the coaster hardware has apparently already been signed, and I just think that there's another manufacturer that's partnered up with Alton Towers, and I still firmly believe it's Intamin. I would not take the video that Merlin posted too seriously. It's just a way of getting enthusiasts, getting people to talk and discuss about Project Horizon, and in that they've achieved, because look at how many videos have been posted about an RMC at Towers. Although do look into the future, because it is quite weird that Alton Towers would mention a company like RMC without working for them. You wouldn't do that, would you? So always look into the future. Could Alton Towers, could Merlin be maybe conjuring up a deal with RMC in the future? I don't think Project Horizon is going to be an RMC, but that doesn't mean that Alton Towers or another Merlin park like Thorpe Park or Chessington could build an RMC coaster in the future. The doors are always open. You've also got to think as well, when our ride manufacturers released this earlier on in the project, Project Horizon hasn't even started construction. Not one bit of work on site at Alton Towers has taken place. The planning application was submitted and granted. Apparently the contract between the manufacturer and Alton Towers has been signed. Apart from that, there's nothing going on with Project Horizon. Well, from visually, as we can see in terms of construction. If you think about it, it's still a year and a half away, 2025. We've still got Nemesis in front of that. It's just way too early on in the project for it to be confirmed in terms of a ride manufacturer to enthusiasts and the public. It just doesn't make sense. And we know Alton Towers, they wouldn't just release the ride manufacturer. There'll be a big backstory behind it, a big theme like we've seen with Nemesis this season. Project Horizon could well be an RMC. If it was to be one, I think it'd be the Wild Moose coaster layout rather than a sort of custom family layout, because when you think about it, Project Horizon probably hasn't been in the works that long at Alton Towers, and a custom layout would need a lot more time. And would it meet the deadline of 2025? I'm not too sure. If it was RMC and John Burton just blatantly told us, I feel like we would have saw a bit more on social media like Twitter, maybe Alton Towers reposting a tweet from RMC about the Wild Moose coaster layout. Or at least retweeting something from RMC saying, oh, that looks interesting, or just something to build up the hype, because it feels like they've just said this just because they can. Wrapping up my thoughts, I don't think Project Horizon will be an RMC. That's not to say though that Alton Towers won't work with RMC in the future to build maybe a roller coaster at another Merlin park or Alton Towers, and maybe even see that Cross Valley coaster actually come to life. I think this is just John Burton having a little bit of fun on National Roller Coaster Day, and Alton Towers and Merlin hyping up projects that are in the pipeline. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know all of your thoughts to Project Horizon. Do you think it's going to be an RMC? Do you think it's going to be an Intamin multi-dimensional coaster? Do you think it's going to be a Ripsaw clone? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.